Live from RedZone Weather, this is a severe weather alert.
A new tornado warning just triggered for parts of Washington County over in West Alabama. We also have multiple tornado warnings that continue this afternoon for parts of Choctaw County as well. Good Wednesday evening to you. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson. Northern Washington County now under the gun from a possible tornado. If you are in the community of Milry, we have a new tornado warning to tell you about. And this is going to be from yet another tornado that's going to come out of Mississippi and come into areas very near and just to the north of Milry. So yet another tornado warning. And unfortunately, this day is far from over. We have more warnings likely on the way for parts of West Alabama in the immediate term, and then we could have more warnings a bit farther to the east a bit later. But before we get there, let's focus on the active warning at hand. This is a tornado warning that has just been triggered for parts of Washington County. Let's show you the whole county because this is for a very small part of Washington County, which is a very large county over here in West Alabama. This is Alabama. Back behind me, this is Mississippi. Possible tornado is up here coming into areas near Chapel Hill. And so this is going to be a glancing blow for Washington County. Alabama Highway 17. We advise no driving right now from Butler all the way back down to Milry. So no driving right now on Alabama Highway 17 as we have yet another possible tornado about to cross the Mississippi-Alabama line, which is right here. This is northern Washington County. This is southern Choctaw County. We also note that there is a separate tornado that is in Choctaw County right now, and there is very likely a tornado on the ground very near or just to the south of Gilbertown, perhaps just to the east of the Alabama Highway 17 corridor. This is going to approach the Tombigbee, and I'm putting you on alert if you are in Clark County, particularly northern Clark County, from Coffeyville back up to Opine, even over to Thomasville. You may get another tornado warning in the next 5 minutes or so. So be aware of that. Northern Clark probably about to get yet another tornado warning. But again, the reason we've come on the air as of 4:11 p.m. is this. This is a couplet on radar area of rotation right here, and this is going to be a danger for the community of Dunbar, areas on the north side of Milry, near the Washington County Public Lake, and also out here toward the community of Chapel Hill, which is right in through here. Also, Silas and Toxie involved in this tornado warning. So, if you are in one of those communities that I just called out, let's go over to the graphics and show you exactly what you should be doing at this point. Again, Milry, areas near the Washington County Public Lake, Chapel Hill, Silas, and Toxie. Those areas need to get underground if you can. If you can't, though, that's okay. We want you to get to the lowest floor, go down during tornado warnings, not up. In a site-built structure, away from windows. Put as many walls as you possibly can between you and the outside world. Let's go back over to LD1. And again, we're tracking two circulations that are somewhat in our local area. One is coming into Washington County, and then the other is here in Choctaw County. This is potentially going to be an issue for northwestern Clark County over the next 5 to 10 minutes. And we probably will get another tornado warning for areas out here near Woods Bluff, Campbell, Cunningham, and areas just north of Coffeyville on the western side of Alabama Highway 154 over the next few minutes. In fact, I see that the Weather Service is now calling this a confirmed tornado south of Gilbertown. This is in their latest update as of 30 seconds ago. The Weather Service saying that there is a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado in Choctaw County approaching the Tombigbee River. And so what I'm telling you, even though there's no tornado warning at this moment for Clark County, be ready to get sheltered imminently. In fact, I would, on a day like today, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, get sheltered in Clark County if you are near Cunningham, Campbell, also West Bend, Woods Bluff, Morven. Those areas are about to be under yet another tornado warning in the northwestern corner of Clark County. We will see what the Weather Service decides to do with that particular polygon, but no doubt that is a mean, nasty thunderstorm capable of producing, or I should say not even capable at this point, it is producing a significant tornado over in West Alabama, specifically in Choctaw County. Let's go over to the iPad because I think this sort of gives us a better view of this. We'll look at the velocity display just to paint the picture here. This is Choctaw County. This is Clark, that's Marengo, and down here, this is Washington County. So we're tracking two specific tornadoes. Tornado number 1, quite dangerous. This has prompted a tornado warning for Choctaw County in West Alabama. You've also got a secondary tornado right in through here, crossing the Alabama-Mississippi state line right now, coming into communities like Milry, Chapel Hill, and Dunbar in the northern part of Washington County, out here toward the Washington County Public Lake. So that's tornado warning number 2. But clearly the more vicious one is the one in Choctaw County, located about 5 miles southeast of Gilbertown, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Let's see if we can check on the debris tracker, because we would be looking right in this area. But I'll tell you, the radar beam is hitting this at about 8,000 feet off the ground at this particular level. And so it would be pretty difficult to get a debris signature at that height. But no doubt, that's a danger zone right here in Choctaw County. That storm will likely approach the far northwestern corner of Clark County in the next 5 to 10 minutes. We'll see if we get another tornado warning for Clark shortly. And I also should mention, Marengo County has been the hot spot today. Numerous tornado warnings for many parts of Marengo County, and another one is likely about to be issued for communities down here like Sweetwater, Nanophilia, also areas near Dixon's Mills may have another tornado warning in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But the active one that we are here for, let's go back over to LD1. This certainly is not the most impressive signature that we've seen on a day like today, but you know, the tornadoes have been so strong and so significant in some cases that even a signature like this, you could have a tornado on the ground. This is in northwestern Washington County, approaching Alabama Highway 17, and ultimately this is going to come very near the US 84 corridor. From State Line, Mississippi, or excuse me, from Waynesboro, Mississippi, you can travel on 84 all the way back over here to Coffeyville and ultimately Grove Hill. And so what I would tell you, no driving at this point on US 84 from Silas all the way back over to the Alabama-Mississippi state line. Same thing on Alabama Highway 17 from Silas back down to, let's say, Milry, because that part of Highway 17 is included in this tornado warning polygon. Looking at the whole county, though, again, Washington County is a very large county. If you're in Chatham, McIntosh, Vinegar Bend, Deer Park, Leroy, all those areas are okay. This is an issue specifically for the northern part, specifically the northwestern part of Washington County. And I tell you, that thing in southern Choctaw County means business. The Weather Service calling this a confirmed, large, and extremely dangerous tornado very near, or it was very near, Gilbertown, about 5 miles south of Gilbertown. And that was about 5 minutes ago. We got a new tornado warning to tell you about, and this is the one that we have been advertising. We saw it coming. This is going to be a tornado warning for Clark County. And so what this means is if you are in Morven, Opine, West Bend, Cunningham, Campbell, you need to be sheltered. Also, Bashai Road is included in this tornado warning polygon, and this one is going to be on the board until 5 o'clock. This is a long duration event. And unfortunately, it looks like we are going to have many more tornado warnings across the state over the next few hours. We need to get out an app alert in our RedZone weather app for the good folks in northern Clark County, now under the gun from a tornado warning. And by the way, let me say, Thomasville is not included in this warning. So if you are in Thomasville, you are okay right now. Same thing in Grove Hill, Fulton, Jackson. All of the major population centers in Clark County are not included in this warning. But for folks on the northern side of Coffeyville, out towards West Bend, Cunningham, Campbell, all those areas under the gun from this possible, or I say possible, I'm so used to saying that, this is a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado very near the Tom Bigby River over here in West Alabama, near Woods Bluff, coming into areas near Campbell over the next 5 minutes. Make it happen and get to that tornado safe place in the northern part of Clark County right now. And I see a message from our friends at the National Weather Service. They are indicating that this is a very robust cell capable of producing potentially a large tornado. This is unfortunately the type of tornado that is going to be all too prominent. We've seen that in Mississippi. We've seen several examples in West Alabama. We know that there has been damage across the state, specifically in areas near Brookwood and Tuscaloosa County. At last check, there was a tornado warning, and I see on our other screen here, there is a tornado warning in place for western Jefferson County. Jefferson County is home to Alabama's largest city of Birmingham. The city of Birmingham itself, in fact, take me over to LD2. We'll show that real quick. I know there's a lot of interest in Birmingham. This is Jefferson County here. Tuscaloosa County is here. This is Walker County. And I do see that part of Walker County is involved in that tornado warning, but the main threat is going to be out here in the western suburbs of the city of Birmingham, in areas like you've got the communities that were so heavily affected back on April the 27th, 2011, Hueytown and Bessemer on the southern side of this. And then in the middle of that, you've got Sylvan Springs, and this cell is really going to be an issue for Forestdale and Adamsville in about 5 minutes or so. So that's outside of our area. I also want to briefly mention the city of Selma is yet again under a tornado warning. There's a possible tornado moving into Selma, Alabama right now. If you know someone in Selma, you call them, let them know they need to get sheltered, as you have a possible tornado in northern Dallas County, and that thing is going to be very near the Edmund Pettus Bridge in downtown Selma imminently. Big deal in Selma. You also have another cell over in western Dallas County that's going to be an issue for US Highway 80 and areas out here on the western side of Dallas County. Again, I can't stress enough, for folks in Selma, be in that safe place. If you know someone in Selma, you tag them, you call them, you let them know. Let's go back over to LD1 because we are here because of this. This is northern Clark County, and I will say that this cell down in Washington County that we are tracking, that is now in Choctaw County, and so or on the border at least, very near Chapel Hill, coming into Choctaw County. And by the way, if you are at Milry, it looks like that tornado is going to pass to your north. And you can see the polygon has actually been clipped out. And so if you are at Milry or point south along Alabama Highway 17, we'll give you a tornado all clear right now. There may be other tornadoes later, but the imminent threat of a tornado has ended at Milry and points south. This is possible tornado number one. And again, that just does not look super impressive. There is some lightning over the couplet, and usually that is indicative sometimes of a strengthening tornado. But nonetheless, this thing in northern Clark County, I tell you what, that is just a nasty tornado signature in the western part of Clark County in Alabama. Bruce, do you have anything in the way of damage reports or any other information that you would like to pass along at this point? Anything in the comments? Yeah, and Bruce brings up a great point. Again, for folks in northern Clark County, we need you to be in that tornado safe place and tag folks. If you know anyone in Morven, in Campbell, in Cunningham, in Woods Bluff, those are the communities that are under the gun from this confirmed tornado in Choctaw County. This is the Tom Bigby River, which serves as the county border between Clark County, this is Clark County, and then this is Choctaw County over here in West Alabama, and then this is Marengo County. And so ultimately, this is going to be a problem for Marengo County in about 20 minutes or so, near the community of Morven, back up to Sweetwater and say Dixon's Mills, which is right here at the intersection of Alabama Highway 10 and 43. Those areas would be next if this holds its strength. It looks like this tornado is going to pass well to the west of Thomasville, and that's why the Weather Service has not issued the tornado warning for the city of Thomasville at this point. So that certainly is a good thing. Again, this particular warning runs until 5 o'clock p.m. Current time is 4:23 p.m. And yeah, that thing back on the border of Choctaw and Washington, I mean, it has somewhat just fallen apart. And that's what we want to see. We want these things to totally fall apart and go away. But this could be a big bad tornado, could be even a waterspout over the Tom Bigby River. Tom Bigby is a wide river over here in West Alabama, and that thing, as it crosses the Tom Bigby River into Clark County, near Cunningham, near Campbell, near Woods Bluff, that could be a waterspout right now on top of the Tom Bigby, about to be a big bad tornado in the northwestern corner of Clark County. Again, just looking at our other sources here to see what we've got going on. And the good news is I do not see any other storms in our local area that imminently appear to be about to go tornadic. Now, that's not to say we won't have more warnings. Unfortunately, I think we will. This is a very significant tornado outbreak that is happening across the Deep South, and a high-risk day, a situation where we have this level 5 out of 5 high risk that is in place. And I'm just getting confirmation. We have a confirmed report from Silas, which is right here, that a tornado did indeed happen associated with this cell that is moving into Clark County. And so confirmed tornado damage happened in Silas about 10 to 15 minutes ago when this nasty supercell thunderstorm was on top of Silas. Keep in mind, we are in peak daytime heating at this point, and these tornadoes are really tapping into high instability values in the atmosphere that are making them quite strong. Let's go back over to LD2. Again, watching this thing coming into areas out near Cunningham and Campbell in Clark County. But the big picture, let's take down my banner at the bottom, because we have numerous tornado warnings, not only in Alabama, but several also back here, or at least one in the southwestern quadrant of Mississippi as well. And keep in mind, this back here, this is actually your line of storms that ultimately will serve to end the severe weather risk. There's your watches and warnings. But again, we have had numerous tornado warnings today, basically all the way up. I think there was a tornado warning, you can see it there, about 30 minutes ago for parts of Colbert and Franklin counties there in the northern part of Alabama. We'll briefly zoom into ourselves in central Alabama as this ongoing tornado outbreak continues. And this is going to be very close to downtown Birmingham over the next little bit. I'm going to actually queue up the radar there so we can briefly check on that. Again, for folks in northwestern Clark County, Cunningham, Campbell, Woods Bluff, be in a safe place. If you're in Thomasville or areas out near Jackson or Grove Hill, you are okay right now, and the tornado warning does not include your specific area. But we certainly need you to be sheltered in those areas. Take me back over to LD1, Bruce, if you will, please, sir, because downtown Birmingham is now under a tornado warning due to that. That right there is a possible tornado coming into areas near Adamsville in Jefferson County, and that polygon does clip downtown Birmingham, near UAB, near the major hospitals, Children's Hospital, involved in that tornado warning right in through there. This is a major population center under a tornado warning in central Alabama in the city of Birmingham. We'll also check on Selma because there is a tornado, a possible tornado, I should say, right over downtown Selma, Alabama at this point. If you know someone in Selma, call them, text them, tag them in these comments if you're watching on Facebook below, because that is a nasty tornado signature right over the city of Selma. Back behind me, you've also got a separate tornado warning for western Dallas County. This is US Highway 80 right in through here. You've got Alabama Highway 5 right in through there. This is very near the community of Orwell in Dallas County. And so looking at multiple tornado warnings there. We'll go back to our storm in West Alabama, which is now moving into the northwestern part of Clark County, zooming in real tight, and that is, I tell you, that's just a nasty signature. So just to explain this, when we look at velocity on radar, that tells us exactly which way the hydrometeors, or in this case rain, is moving in the atmosphere. And the radar beam is hitting this at about 8,000 feet above the surface of the Earth. And so you can clearly see this rotation with this green area denoting areas that are moving like that, and then the red is moving just like that. And so that's a nasty tornado signature currently over areas near Cunningham and Woods Bluff on the Tom Bigby River. This is going to move just like that. And looking at the trend on this, let's see if we can actually, if you'll take me over to the iPad, I kind of want to look at the overall trend, because this may be somewhat of a right-moving storm. In other words, the mean flow today, or average flow high in the atmosphere, is out of the southwest. like that. But there seems to be a bit of motion that may be just a little bit to the right of that, like that. And sometimes in environments like this, when you get a right-moving supercell, it often can really become stronger there as it taps into some of the flow of that warm Gulf air coming in from the south. And by the way, we do note that there's a new tornado warning on this. Go back over to LD1, please, and we'll show that. New tornado warning for Marengo County. And I tell you, if we've called out one county today, my goodness, it has been Marengo County. Unfortunately, Linden, Sweetwater, Dixon's Mills, all now under the gun from this thing that is currently over the Tombigbee River in the northwestern corner of Clark. This is going to move just like that into Marengo County over the next few hours. That tornado warning, by the way, is in effect until 5:30 p.m. So new tornado warning in effect for Marengo County, valid until 5:30 local time. Numerous tornado warnings are happening across the state, but some good news to pass along. Let's go back over to our reflectivity product here, and we'll zoom in because this thing that's now in southern Choctaw seems to have collapsed, and that is a good thing because if you are in northern Washington County, we'll give you an all clear for now. The tornado risk, the imminent tornado risk, has come to a close for northern Washington County. If you're in Choctaw County, it looks like we'll be able to give you a tornado all clear once this thing clears out into Clark. Taking back over to the iPad, and we'll be able to show you that in a more detailed way. So watch it. Let's take down the banner just for a second, please, sir, because here's your cell that prompted us to come on the air. And you see that's just kind of fizzled out. That's now right over Silas. We'll stop the latest frame. And you can see that that couplet is essentially gone. In other words, there's no tight gradient of the colors in there that would let us know that there's circulation. But clearly the greater threat is now in the northern part of Clark County. And this is just a perfect fit of what we've been forecasting over the last few days. If you will take me over to the graphics, I'll show you that we actually had an adjustment about an hour ago. The Storm Prediction Center now includes parts of northern Washington, northern Clark, and western Wilcox in that level 5 out of 5 high severe weather risk. And that is exactly where we have seen the focus for tornadoes over the last few hours. And unfortunately, I think we will continue to see a focus there in the hours ahead. Let's briefly look at the future radar, because there will be more in the way of thunderstorms firing most likely across the central and eastern parts of our local area in the hours ahead. Now, the big question mark is how strong will those be? They may be well under severe limits, but on the flip side, on a day like today with a buoyant atmosphere, you may have storms that fire up rather quickly. And so that's why the entire area remains under a significant round of severe weather risk in the hours ahead. Again, storms back over West Alabama now, but we may see more pop up near the I-65 corridor or even here in Northwest Florida as we get towards 5 and 6 o'clock. Current time is 4:32. We'll look at the radar in those areas in just a minute. Again, the line of storms is going to be the real deal tonight in terms of damaging straight line winds and the potential for tornadoes being embedded in this as it crosses our area from west to east. By the time we get to 7 o'clock in the morning, we should be done, and we will get a break from severe weather this weekend. Certainly looking forward to better weather. Back over to LD1, and I tell you what, right on schedule, the high-resolution rapid refresh model, I think, modeled this pretty well. Look at what's happening here. You see some storms firing in Monroe County, Escambia, Conecuh as well. I imagine that the cap in this area, in other words, the inversion that's been keeping these storms at bay, is still there somewhat. And so the good news is most likely these will have a bit of time until they become severe. And they may never become severe. We don't know that. We will just have to see over the next few hours. But nonetheless, I'm putting you on notice, especially in Escambia, Conecuh, Butler, Covington, Monroe counties. Those may be the counties next that have issues in the hours ahead. We will watch that and see, but clearly the greatest issues at this moment are in the northern part of Clark County. Possible tornado is down here, or excuse me, I apologize. It's up here, I should say, very near Cunningham and Campbell in the northwestern corner of Clark County. Yes, northern Clark is under a tornado warning. However, the city of Thomasville and points south along US Highway 43 are not under the warning. That is why we have this beautiful polygon system. It keeps everyone in the danger zone who's in danger, and it leaves everyone out who's not. And speaking of that, I see that there's an update we can give you an all clear at this point from the imminent tornado risk in West Bend and points south down to Coffeyville. However, northern Clark County, Bashai points west, Bashai Road, all the way back over to Campbell, Morven, areas near Cunningham. Very, very tiny community of Rock Springs is right here. All of those areas under the gun from what could be a powerful tornado right now over in West Alabama. And this is quickly going to go into Marengo County. Back over to the iPad we go. We'll show you the velocity on this. And this lets us know that there still is robust circulation right in through here. One thing I haven't mentioned today, look at all the little white blips. That's how many lightning strikes that we've had over in West Alabama over the last several hours. And just looking at our counter, this particular storm is producing 500 strikes of lightning, or has produced that many strikes over the last 5 to 10 minutes. So this thing is locked and loaded with lightning and thunder. It is a nasty thunderstorm, and in addition to that, we're obviously concerned about the tornado threat that is currently over Cunningham, Campbell, and areas near Morven as well in the northern part of Clark, and now even southern Marengo County. Let's go back over to LD1, and I want to do a scan on these storms in Monroe County. There's nothing right now in Monroe County that is severe, all right? Nothing there. Yes, you have rain in progress from areas up here near Keith, out to the northwest of Monroeville, extending down near the Alabama River pulp paper plant right there, extending down to areas near Homewood, also back down to, let's say, Uri and also Eliska, which is in southern Monroe County. But these showers are far under severe limits for now. You're also seeing some shower activity near Appleton, also have a heavier downpour near Lenox. This storm is very near the community of Brooks in the northwestern part of Covington County, but those showers way under severe limits at this point. We are here because of a storm that is about to rapidly exit out of our area, and that right there, it's kind of hard to see, but looking at that, that may be a bounded weak echo region. Actually, I don't think, just looking at it from a high res source, I don't think that is, but nonetheless, right in through here is your possible tornado. This is barely clipping through the northwestern part of Clark County. And let me just say this, for folks that are watching in Thomasville, you can breathe easier at this point because this massive supercell storm is going to lift just like that to your northwest. But that means if you are in Sweetwater, if you are in Aimwell, also areas near Dixon's Mills, those three communities right in through here are going to take the brunt of this. And this could be a potentially significant tornado lifting into Marengo County near Morven right now. I see the Weather Service in Birmingham, by the way, is observing a tornado on the ground in Jefferson County as this tornado outbreak continues. But the good news with that, from a population standpoint at least, is that that cell is going to pass well to the north of downtown Birmingham. So what we told you a minute ago, about 5 minutes ago, was that downtown Birmingham was involved in a tornado warning. And what we see now is that the Weather Service is updating and refining that polygon. And it looks like that tornado warning is going to, or tornado I should say, is going to pass to the north of downtown Birmingham. So that certainly is a good thing from a population standpoint. Obviously, many, many more folks north of Birmingham included in that warning. In communities like Morris, you also have several other communities like Kimberly, Gardendale, Pinson, north of downtown Birmingham. Same areas that were affected back several weeks ago, like Fultondale. Fultondale took a direct hit from an EF3 tornado. Looks like another tornado is going to pass very near or just to the north of there imminently in the next 5 minutes. So keep that in mind. Again, working multiple cells on this Wednesday afternoon that are tornadic in nature. And I tell you what, look at this. Back over Mississippi, you see more in the way of supercell thunderstorms firing up. Now, if these continue and strengthen perhaps, these could be more, or be more of an issue, I should say, for parts of west central Alabama in that high risk zone. But we've got our own storms to contend with. I see some storms forming here in Greene County, Mississippi. That will be moving into Washington County. We'll also have to watch these developing storms in Monroe, Conecuh, and Escambia counties as well. And I hope in the next 5 minutes or so to be able to give an all clear to northern Clark County. Because I tell you what, these communities like Woods Bluff and Cunningham, they have really had a time today with multiple tornado warnings over here. But this particular tornado is now crossing out of Clark into southern Marengo County. And so it can't be stressed enough. Absolutely no driving at this point on Alabama Highway 10. We'll say from the Tombigbee River all the way back over to areas near Pine Hill. All the way to Pine Hill. No driving on Alabama Highway 10. We also advise no driving at this point on US Highway 43 from Thomasville all the way back up to Linden. And so no driving on 43 as well. Same thing on Bashai Road, I should say, west of Thomasville, as you could be driving straight into what could be a significant tornado in the western part of Clark County. Some breaking news to pass along. Storm chasers north of Campbell have a visual on what they are calling a large tornado. They are hearing the roaring freight train, that's a tongue twister, right? Sound in northwestern Clark County. And so what we are saying is that there is a confirmed tornado in this area. I think, unfortunately, this is going to end up being a long-tracked, violent tornado potentially that touched down somewhere down here in Choctaw County. We know that it caused damage in Silas, and what's happened, it has continued, and it is now crossed into Clark, about to cross into Marengo County, very near Morven. Again, that is a confirmed source reporting that they are hearing the freight train noise, and something that you pray you never ever have to deal with, a violent tornado in these areas. So let's get specific, because again, this is about to be out of our area just to the north, and what we're telling you is that a large, significant tornado could happen imminently in Sweetwater. If you know someone in southern Marengo County, it cannot be stressed enough at this point. Sweetwater, Aimwell, also areas near Dixon's Mills, up to Thomaston and Linden. Let them know there is a large tornado confirmed on the ground with this storm moving into Marengo County. Again, for Clark County, we're about to give you an all clear from this. This is clearly crossed into Marengo County at this point. And as a course of least regret, if you're in Woods Bluff or areas near Campbell or Cunningham, I would stay in that tornado safe place for the next 2 minutes, and I'll be able to give you an all clear. I know it's raining like cats and dogs, and unfortunately, there's probably quite a bit of damage in this zone near the Tombigbee River. But again, the danger has passed, and it's now in Marengo County, moving toward the community of Sweetwater. This could be a direct hit from a large tornado on the community of Sweetwater in the next several minutes. And by the way, I want to thank everyone who sent in photos and videos. Those are immensely helpful in this process today to see exactly what's going on in terms of damage, in terms of these tornadoes. Truly something that, we never ever want to see, but we certainly appreciate all the content that has been delivered to us today. So thank you very much. I see that we now have a debris ball being tracked north of Birmingham near the Adamsville community. So multiple tornado warnings continue to happen. In fact, take me back over to LD2 and we'll show you kind of the wide scope. We've been focusing on this large tornado that's coming into Marengo County near Woods Bluff, near Cunningham over the last several minutes. But it's important to remember that is not the only storm that's happening today. We also have a confirmed tornado happening on the northern side of the Birmingham, Alabama metro area near Adamsville, Graysville, coming into areas near Fultondale. Confirmed tornado in those areas that could be potentially producing a lot of damage. Need to be in a safe place in northern Jefferson County. We also have a new tornado warning that has just been triggered from the cell that was over the city of Selma, Alabama. That is going to move into northern Autauga County. For folks familiar with that area, you know that you've got Billingsley High School and Jim's Barbecue there on the US Highway 82 corridor that connects Montgomery back up to Tuscaloosa via areas like Maplesville. Maplesville not included in the warning, but areas here in northern Autauga County near Billingsley are included in that tornado warning. And so at this point, some good news to pass along. Let's go back over to LD1 because Clark County, if you are in Clark County, south of Morven, here's Morven, south of Morven, we'll give you an all clear. There is still a significant threat to life and property in southern Marengo County. I mean, this is, the worst of the worst type situation. A violent, large, confirmed tornado moving into Marengo County, and this is on a beeline for the community of Sweetwater. And so it can't be stressed enough. If you know someone in Sweetwater, tag them in the comments below, call them, text them, do what you need to do to let them know. Again, there's a large, violent tornado on the ground in West Alabama in Marengo County. The Weather Service is going to let that warning for Clark go, and it will be off the board in a matter of moments, if not seconds. So let's do a little reset. It is now 4:44 p.m. on Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. Unfortunately, a day that's going to live in our memories for years to come, as we have had already a tornado outbreak, and it is not over yet. Many tornadoes across the state. Quite a bit of damage in several spots, damage back in Mississippi as well. And again, it ain't over yet. So you got to have a way to receive warnings over the next few hours. Let's talk about what's happening across the region. We'll talk about what you can expect. And then, because this has exited out of our area into Marengo County, we will pass it off to the Montgomery television stations, and they will take over for the coverage from that. I have a feeling that we will be back with more coverage in our local area, maybe even due to these storms that are developing now in parts of Monroe, Conecuh, and Escambia counties. But for now, showers continue from Washington County, from areas out here near Bigby and St. Stephen's back to Deer Park and Vinegar Bend. A particularly dangerous situation tornado watch is on the board until 7 o'clock. More counties in our local area will be added, including counties potentially in Northwest Florida, to the tornado watch that probably will extend well into the overnight hours. You've got to have a way to receive those warnings before you go to sleep, because even though we will end most likely the supercell threat of storms, what's going to happen in the overnight hours, we will have round 2 that could be a line of supercells in more of a linear fashion, capable of producing tornadoes and damaging straight line winds, in addition to large hail, heavy rain, flash flooding, and of course, cloud to ground lightning. So this is a long way from being over, but at this point, again, for our friends in Clark County, this large violent tornado has now cleared out and is in southern Marengo County, coming into areas near Sweetwater. We know that this was a large violent tornado because there are storm chasers in this area that had a visual sighting of this, in addition to hearing the classic freight train noise that often accompanies big bad violent tornadoes. And so again, for folks in Clark County, Morven, Vashti, Opine, Cunningham, Campbell will give you right now an all clear. There may be more tornado warnings later. This is not over. Same thing in Choctaw County. There's no imminent tornado threat as of now, as the threat has lifted into Marengo County. Let's look briefly and see if we have anything in the way of damage photos coming in before we get out of your hair, because again, this has been a very bad situation over in northwestern Clark County. I am so thankful that this did not, so far, hit a highly populated area like Thomasville, like Grove Hill, like Jackson. But that echoes the fact that we are so concerned with communities like Sweetwater and Dixon's Mills, also Thomaston, Linden, also Octagon involved in this tornado warning. Those areas need to be sheltered right now. What does that mean? Lowest floor of a site-built structure. You can't be driving. This is a nasty tornado that could potentially be fatal in some cases. And so we want you to be off the roads with this look. Again, classic kidney bean supercell right in through here. And you see that lowering. We've been sort of seeing that on radar. The tornado may be right here, moving into Sweetwater and areas near Sweetwater in Marengo County at the present point. And this is not a video I'm going to be able to share because it is licensed, but I can tell you I'm looking at a video of a large tornado that was moving through Silas, Alabama. So Silas is down here in southern Choctaw County, and this is the same cell in Marengo County that was in Silas about 45 minutes ago. And I can tell you that tornado was big, it was bad, it was nasty. And so Unfortunately, again, due to licensing restrictions, that's not something that we're going to share, but I can tell you it was a terrible, terrible tornado. Goodness. Many tornado touchdowns across Alabama at this point as this tornado outbreak continues. But let me stress, again, for folks that are watching across South Alabama and Northwest Florida, the tornado imminent threat at this point is now very low. There is no active tornado threat for any part of our coastal counties and also South Central Alabama. We just got done with this supercell big bad tornado that is now in Marengo County. That has now cleared out to the north of Clark County. Same thing back here in Washington County. You've got a bit of heavy rain in communities like Bigby back up to really Toxie and Silas and Coffeyville, but those storms at this moment are below severe limits. Let's look at the regional radar. Let's go back over to LD2 because we do have other warnings in place. And unfortunately, this rare high risk level 5 of 5 has come true today. It was not a bust by any stretch of the imagination. We have had multiple significant, potentially long-tracked tornadoes, and there will be more, unfortunately, most likely in the hours ahead. You see this complex of storms back here across Louisiana, extending from Baton Rouge back up the Mississippi Delta region, coming into areas near Jackson, Mississippi. This is the main batch of storms that once it clears out of your location, you will get a severe weather all clear. But keep in mind, being now that we're coming up on 5 o'clock, that probably won't happen until after 2 to 3 in the morning. So a long way to go. Hang out with me over the next few hours in the RedZone Weather app as we continue to track what is a historic tornado outbreak across the Deep South. March 27th, 2021, going to be a day, like I said earlier, that lives in our memories, unfortunately, for a very long time. More updates coming in the app. If we have more tornado warnings locally, be sure to jump straight back on the live stream as we bring you the very latest. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson alongside Bruce Thompson saying goodbye for now. We will